But you consider yourself a monotheist?
Yes, and I would say the reason why, especially, there are two reasons. One, obviously, the beliefs in Christianity.
So why would God make the Fitra into multiple gods, in your opinion?
As in our natural Fitra?
Yeah.
But that then comes into I think it's two parts. I would say, for example, in terms of our sinful nature, we digress away from God, and God has given revelation so that we have that desire, but we have the desire to search out that being, but we have free will to reject or accept what we desire, we accept as the true revelation from God.
Yeah. And you believe you have the true revelation?
Yeah, of course.
I don't believe you do have the revelation. Yeah. Obviously, New Testament, right? It's almost logical to believe, when we go into the history of it, that the New Testament wasn't given to Jesus, was it?
Yeah, but I'll address that. But just in terms of the point of whether Christians are polytheists, for example, it's inconclusive. If you're saying we're polytheists,
I think in modern day it's hard to know what a Christian actually is, isn't it? How do you define a Christian? I can't define a practicing Christian. I ask Christians who Jesus is. Half of them say Son of the God is God. So I don't know how you'd really quantify that anyway.
Well, in terms of, we can look at through historically, in terms of what the Bible teaches. Obviously, you have Catholics who may believe in the Bible, but there's always a core tendency of a belief in the Gospels.
Yeah. Do you accept that we're talking about Christians back in the day started out as non-Trinitarian, Unitarian Christianity?
Well, it's never been
turned into this idea of Trinity was introduced later on.
So where did you get the understanding that they were Unitarians?
It was done pre-carnation, I believe, but the Bible itself isn't Trinitarian, is it? So,
well, you have to understand how the Bible is very Trinitarian, and this is the mistake people make.
Yeah.
And I can show you.
Yeah. And I know you're probably going to think that I've only taken this from Muslims. That's not the case. It's I actually looked into that part.
Yeah.
The Bible, the Trinity, if that's something towards your salvation, that's something so pinnacle to your beliefs, it should really say it, shouldn't it?
Well, that's not true. The Bible is a descriptive book of history, not a prescriptive book. The Quran is prescriptive.
So it's testimonies.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if I went to the 1st century and asked someone what a solar eclipse was, they're going to give me a description of what it is, not a prescription of how it is.
So it's not revelation, it is a bunch of testimonies discussing what was revealed.
Well, it includes revelation, but it also includes the descriptive part of what was happening at that time for the people.
I've done some research. I know you may not accept Bart Ehrman's sort of works, but is it true that the Gospels, we don't know who wrote them?
Let's just say, for example, we didn't know.